Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? My name is Blitzwinger, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on back to a brand new episode of Custom Dinos for LEGO Jurassic World. Today, we are, of course, taking control of the one and only Own Grady. Sorry, the park announcer made me flustered. I was like, wait, what? Remember what? What should I remember about the park? Got me confused. Nonetheless, of course, if you don't know what Custom Dinos is, it's a series whereby we take ideas from the comment section below and ideas that I come up with myself, and we then try to take a dinosaur that emulates that idea. So essentially, of course, previously we've done stuff like turning a Dimorphodon into Batman, which was really, really cool, or a Dimorphodon inspired Batman. So again, if you want to be featured on next week's episode of Custom Dinos for LEGO Jurassic World, please consider leaving a comment down below with your ideas. And on top of that, of course, you can also always go ahead and submit your own dino DNA. So like basically saying, here's the code for the dinosaur that I've created. This is the dinosaur type. Again, remember to include the name of the dinosaur as well, because a lot of people still to this day post a code without actually letting me know which dinosaur it is. If that's the case, I can't create your dinosaur, so keep that in mind. So that being said, let's get rocking and let's get a rolling. Today, we've got some really, really cool stuff that we're going to be customizing and building out, including the very first thing is actually a pretty interesting one as it is. Just an interesting kind of thing to kick things off with, or an interesting way of kicking things off with. And that is a custom design by one of you lovely folks. Ricky Surfangar Nivus, I believe is the name of the person. Really, really cool avatar with Captain Grievous, or General Grievous. I don't know why I said Captain. And let's take a look at this design, shall we? So, apparently this is a creeper-inspired design, so very appropriate from last week. Of course, we created a creeper, so let's see how one of you guys went ahead and customized your own creeper. So let's see what the color choices are and how it actually turned out. Plus, interestingly enough, you chose to go with the raptor as the character of choice here. So we'll see if it works better, worse, or maybe exactly the same. I mean, like, you know, to each his own. Some people might prefer the one design, and then other people will prefer the other. So here we go. We're very, very close towards the conclusion here. I already really like it. I like that you went with the light color just as I did, so that's very, very good choice. And there you are. Interesting. All right, so you went all greens, no addition of white or gray or anything like that, which is what I thought to do at the beginning as well. I thought I was just going to go for different shades of green, but we'll see how it looks once we actually spawn it in. I really like it. Thank you so very much for your submission. Again, if you want to see your dino featured in a similar manner, then of course, go ahead and send in your submissions via the comment section down below. Also, guys, don't forget, if you guys are enjoying Custom Dinos, don't forget to leave a like. Let's go ahead and aim for 1,000 likes. So, then as promised also on last week's episode, or I guess Wednesday's episode, not really a whole week since then, we were going to go ahead and customize Pikachu. We're going to make a Pikachu-inspired design. Now, I thought about it, I was like, okay, maybe Gallimimus, but then I realized, you know what, the Gallimimus was just simply too big. Like, we gotta go with the Composognathus, which is, we just call it the Compy, but we're going to go ahead and go with this dino because it's the smallest of the bunch, so therefore that's the one that fits Pikachu inspiration the most. I don't know what that was. All right, so let's go ahead and work on the design. This is going to be a very tricky part because we need to pick a face that has a different color for the cheeks. Oh man, this is going to be really, really tricky because Pikachu is, of course, all yellow, but he does have red cheeks, so I'm gonna try to emulate that in some way, shape, or form, but I really don't see anything here that kind of favors that. So this is gonna be a very, very, very tricky decision. We also need something that resembles ears, right? So maybe go with this, because those are kind of like ears. You know, I mean, it's between that and the Dilophosaurus one, but the Dilophosaurus just looks way too wide. So I think that honestly, out of all the weird choices that we have, the Triceratops is probably the closest that we can go in that regard. We need to go for a predominantly smooth body, so we're going for the Compy body as it is. And the tail, we are probably going to go ahead and keep the same. I mean, we could kind of put this one on there just to create... I mean, Pikachu's tail is like a thunderbolt shape, so... He does have a unique looking tail, so maybe this is actually the best of the bunch because it's got that like spiky end. And it is possible to put something like this as well, because then you could say, well, it's like him using Iron Tail or something like that, like the attack. But I think that the one that makes the most sense overall is probably the Dimorphodon tail there. All right, so an interesting looking dino so far. Now we get to the coloring section. So we got to go predominantly yellow for the most part, and we have two different variations of yellow. We have this yellow, which kind of seems a little bit boring. I think this one's a little bit more energetic, even though this yellow is a little more orange-like. And I would probably even think of maybe Raichu more so than Pikachu for that color. But I don't know, I just feel like this yellow... You know what? Again, the other thing I have to keep in mind is that sometimes in the customizer, the color looks one way, and then when we bring it out, the character into the sunlight and everything, it looks better. So we're going to go with this yellow, and hopefully it'll look good once we get it into the sunlight. So... Then we get to the secondary color, and this is where I thought maybe making this red would work. The problem is it's way too much red, so we can't go with that. Oh, man. All right, well, we could go maybe with that yellow, kind of just to throw a little bit of a difference in there. Let's go predominantly yellow and then see what happens if I make this red, and we choose a different style of pattern, right? So cow print is too much. Ooh. Default. Whoa, the default just has nothing? No actual paint appears on the character? That's kind of weird. I mean, it's weird because this is the most accurate tone for a Pikachu, but it is a little bit strange. It really, really is, just having it to be so plain. Unfortunately, I might think that might be the best way to go, honestly. I kind of want to go with this one because it almost kind of resembles the dots on Pikachu's cheeks. So it kind of works. Okay, so it's really between this and this as the two options. And I really am not sure which one I like better. All right, we'll go with the giraffe print just to add a little bit of liveliness to it. But let me know what you guys think. Which one was better, default or giraffe? Type it in the comment section below along with your ideas for custom dinos. So, as far as the dino DNA for this fella, there it is right in front of you. Go ahead and jot it down if you desire to go ahead and utilize that. So... now we get to the next section, which is, of course, another creation. Now, this one is going to be a really, really, really different one, and an intriguing one at that, because I actually thought to myself, you know, like, we've done the Riddler, we've done Two-Face, we've done several different characters from the Batman universe, including Batman and Robin, but we have never done the main villain from the Batman's Rogues Gallery, and that's the Joker. So I was like, oh my goodness, how could we skip that? So that's exactly what we are doing today. We're going to try to customize a dinosaur to the Joker's fitting. Now, keep in mind, of course, we do want to grab a T-Rex and just do something like that because T-Rexes are awesome and they're cool, but you got to keep in mind the other dinos, first of all, are really cool as well. Plus, the Joker's not that big. Like, you know, if we're doing somebody like Killer Croc, yeah, that makes sense. You would use a really ginormous character, or like Clayface. That would be a really large character, or Bane. Those are characters that are larger in scale. But the Joker, it has to be a slimmer dinosaur, which is why I thought the Trodoon might be a really, really good choice. I don't know what it is about the shape of the Trodoon, but it looks like it would be deceptively evil. Plus, those green eyes, I think, really, really allow extra Joker-like materials. I don't know, he seems very lanky, but then at the same time, look at those ginormous claws. It's like, you don't want to mess with him. Trust me, even though he might not seem physically impressive, he is a nightmare, which is exactly what the Joker is. So, now we get to the coloring and the design phase. So let's see. We need to keep in mind that we're going to use predominantly white, purple, and green, I think, as the main colors. Of course, he always has red and some yellow, but I think that when you think of the Joker, you think of green, white, because his skin is always white with makeup and everything, and his hands are white with makeup or gloves and such. And then you think of purple because his attire is pretty purple most of the time, and the hair is green, of course. So that's kind of the three colors we're going with. Of course, you could always say, well, there's more colors that you'd like to add, like red and maybe even yellow, for his attire often has a little bit of yellow in it as well. But we have to keep in mind there's three colors that we can use, so we have to keep that as our kind of core colors that we utilize. So, that being said, let's begin by first designing the face. So, I think that for the most part, The other reason why I like the Troodon, by the way, is that in many, many different forms, you can see that the teeth of the Troodon are terrifying. Like, you can notice that they're like peeking out, like they're like a spooky smile of the Joker. So I think that works. As far as actually design, I think we'll go with this one. And the reason why this one works in two ways. Dilophosaurus gives us that poisonous spit thing that they do, which can be the Joker poison gas, which he utilizes, so it fits the character. Plus, I think that the little things that he has coming outside of his head kind of works to represent Joker's wild haircut, like to be kind of frizzly and all over the place. So I think this is a pretty good starting point for the Joker design. Then we go to the torso. The torso, I think, actually needs to be probably just the regular design right here, because the Joker's very slim. He doesn't have a whole bunch of like crazy attires to him. So I think that works. And then for the tail, I think we'll go with the Dimorphodon because the Joker always has some sort of a weapon or something, and this tail looks like the most offensive of the bunch. I know the Stegosaurus kind of would work for that as well. But I think I like the kind of sly smoothness of the Dimorphodon tail. Well, once again, it's like you wouldn't suspect the Joker to be such a huge menace when you just look at him. And he's like, okay, he's just so skinny. He doesn't seem to be that much of a threat when compared to a lot of other Batman villains. But trust me, he is quite the threat. So I think this one will work quite well. So then we get to the coloring section. I really, really wanted to use this kind of pearl white as the base, so we're gonna try it and just see how it turns out. I think it'll look quite interesting. Now the other color is gonna be purple, which is this right here, so I think that works pretty well. And then of course representing the hair and other components of his outfit is the green. So I think that green, or maybe he has usually kind of a lighter green. It's either this one I would go with, or maybe even this one right here. But this one's a little bit too lime green. Maybe this is kind of a nice balance, actually. Let's see. We definitely need a different pattern, because I don't like the one that we currently have. That's definitely quite chaotic there. Ooh. Okay, I really like that design. That looks awesome. Giraffe print looks pretty sweet as well, to be honest. Leopard print's alright. Pixels is really not that great looking. Polka dots, same thing. Speckled, not that great. Stars, although I could see the Joker wearing something that ridiculous, I just don't think it's really that fitting. Oh, the tiger stripes looks nice as well. So for me, I really think it might be between the giraffe print and the default. Like, the default just looks so chaotic. There's just so much stuff happening, and that's why I think it's probably the one that we're going to go with. So as far as the Dino DNA for our Joker Troodon, there it is, or Troodon. There's the code. Go ahead and utilize it, if you see so fit. So with that in mind, let's go on ahead and travel on out to the Gyrosphere Valley, where we will be summoning our lovely dinos, and we'll take a look at them. So, let's see. Did we use the Velociraptor? Oh wait, we don't even need to travel over here. I forgot, because we can just call in all the dinos right here. We don't need a Dino Summoning point for this. Alright, so first and foremost, the design that was actually submitted by one of you lovely folks. So once again, if you want to be featured in a similar manner, definitely leave a comment down below. Just as Ricky Surfangar did, who left and said Raptor, Creeper, and then the code. So keep that in mind. Whoa, I love that. All right, I'm kind of coming back around on using all three different shades of green. That's incredibly cool looking. I love the vibrancy of this. All right, I'm gonna admit it, Ricky. You did a better job than I did. I think that the Velociraptor is a better choice to represent the kind of slender body of a creeper, and also the awkward movement of a creeper. So I think that works. And the colors that you chose are definitely very, very, very effective. And surprisingly, you didn't even use the pixels pattern, which to me, when I think of Minecraft, I think of the pixelated look. But oddly enough, I think this is the giraffe print, right? Or maybe this is the leopard print. Either way, it looks great. Great decision on your part, and it looks really, really, really awesome and creates a really interesting illusion for this particular dino. So very, very nicely done. Then we move on to Pikachu. So here we go. Let's see, where is our Pikachu? Here it is, our adorable little Pikachu. And again, of course, we did use the red dots. I know that it's not accurate, but I feel like when it was fully just a yellow design, it looked a little bit too boring and too plain. And it is kind of funny. Like, look at this. This is like maybe what, Sceptile and Pikachu, right? I'm trying to think of a Pokemon that is this ginormous in comparison to Pikachu, and it's predominantly green. So Sceptile, Scyther is not that big, right? So that wouldn't work. But there we go. This is kind of cool. It's like a Pokemon fight. Bring it on! Come on, Sceptile! Let's do this thing. Bam! All right, we took down Sceptile. That worked out. Now, last but certainly not least, we have our custom Trodoon, which is very, very, very tiny. Much tinier than it did look, of course, in the designer. And that's the one thing that I wish the Trodoon was a little bit bigger. I kind of wish that the Trodoon was the size of the Raptor, because that would have been incredible. I think the design would look far, far better. And I mean, look, when we zoom in, it definitely looks cool. I really like that menacing grin. It fits, I don't know, I just feel like it really, really fits the character of the Joker, the slender look, and I really like the combination of all three colors that we went with here, you know, the purple, the green up top, and then that bottom, all fully done up in white. I think it works really, really exceptionally well and looks super duper cool. I don't even know what we're being rewarded studs for, but hey, thank you. Thank you very much for that. So nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, of course. If you want to see the redesign, by the way, there's some Joker poison gas right there, which you would use, so very fitting again. But if there's a different dinosaur that you would like to see me try to turn into the Joker, leave that idea down in the comment section below. I definitely would like to consider other designs. I just tried to pick the design that is most fitting to the persona of the character, and I think that this is somewhat of an accurate rendition. Again, I understand it's a little bit small, so it would be nice if it was just a tiny little bit bigger, but again, that's the size of the Trodoon relative to the Velociraptor, so it's accurate from a historic sense, at least at this point in time, because, you know, history sometimes changes in certain regards, and we might discover that the Trodoons were actually a lot bigger than we think they are, but that's probably unlikely, but you know what I mean. Nonetheless, ladies and gents, there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's Custom Dinos episode for LEGO Jurassic World. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like. That is always, always, always highly appreciated. Thank you so very much for the support on last week's episode. And don't forget, if you want to be featured on an upcoming episode of Custom Dinos, you can do so by leaving the Dino DNA along with the name of the dinosaur in the comments section below, as I mentioned previously on this very episode and previous ones as well. But I will keep repeating it because, again, people keep continuing to post just the Dino DNA without the Raptor, so keep that in mind. Now, if you don't have the game or you don't want to share a dinosaur that you've created, you can go on ahead and just submit an idea and say something like, hey, you know, when you mentioned Clayface, I thought that'd be a cool idea for you to create a T-Rex, an Indominus Rex, let's say, for Clayface. Go ahead and leave that. Or whatever ideas that you guys have, leave them down in the comment section below. I kind of scroll through, see which ones are really, really popular and many people choose to see, and then I go ahead and try to give you my take on them. So, nonetheless, ladies and gents, have an absolutely fantastic day, and I'll see you folks later. Alligators. Bye-bye, everyone!